CMU Football Review. With Ed Phelps and CMU head football coach Dick Flynn. Is brought to you by the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe, working together for the future of Mid-Michigan.
And hi again, everybody. This is Ed Phelps, along with head coach Dick Flynn, and we welcome you to another edition of the Central Michigan University Football Review, following a weekend to be remembered. This past weekend up in Mount Pleasant, Hall of Fame on Friday night, honoring the 1974 National Championship team on Friday night and Saturday. And that 74 team had to be proud of the 1994 Chippewas, who rallied from behind and came from behind to beat Western Michigan in a great football game, 35-28 this past Saturday, that featured one of the great goal line stands in CMU football history. Coach, have their feet touched the ground yet? That was a great one.
They're getting back there slowly but surely. That was a great win, great effort by our players.
Oh.
It was just a great day, I think, for everybody connected with CMU football.
And the thing was, it was the offense, it was the defense, it was the special teams at times, too. I mean, it was everybody.
Well, we knew we had to play that way. I mean, going in. Western's an outstanding team. They gave an outstanding effort on Saturday, and I think, you know, we had to play a complete football game, and we did.
Let's go to the highlights now, and we'll pick it up in the first half. You remember Western coming into the game with a 5-0 record overall, 3-0 in the Mid-American Conference, almost 28,000 standing room only to watch this one. And we'll pick it up with the first series. That's quarterback McDonough.
Tries a short pass in the flats, and it's well covered by Tim Banks. It's incomplete, and this is their third down play. And we get great pressure, and Dustin Preston, I believe, Nate Symington come up with a sack on McDonough.
And that was typical of what would happen the rest of the day. Forced to punt, Western is. They punted away. Not a particularly pretty punt, but it's a little bit effective.
Right.
And now CMU with the first offensive surge of the day, but not much of the surge in the early going.
No, we hit a nice run up in there by Brian Pruitt. You know, we try a little sweep here, and Western makes a fine defensive football play to stop us in a third down situation. We're forced to punt.
Forced to punt, but great coverage down right in the vicinity of the goal line.
Well, this is something we work on almost every day in practice, and we execute it to perfection here, both the kicker and the people covering the punt.
And that was Robert Haddish, the long snapper, who made the recovery at the 4-yard line. But this, you have to take your hats off to Western. It's a great drive, 96 yards to pay dirt. That was Vaccaro.
It really is a great drive, and they hit the ball up inside. Vaccaro makes some great cuts there, and he's a fine tailback.
Tough to bring down. A little bootleg action here by the quarterback McDonough.
Right, great effort by Corey Goldstreet chasing down. We kind of lost contain on it, and he was able to get out on the edge on us. And here again, I think you see some of his scrambling ability and ability to make things happen. He hits his wide receiver there.
Just moving down the field, picking up the first down. McDonough, former Golden Gloves boxing champion in Chicago. He's kind of a tough guy. Good play there, too. He's
really a fine all-around quarterback. Does a great job with their offense and is very creative, make things happen. Here's Vaccaro again, bounces outside.
Quincy Wright made the hit after an 11-yard pickup, and good play action here to the backup tight end.
They drop the ball in. We kind of break down in coverage a little bit, and he finds merit for the touchdown.
So that made it 7-0, and these are the lowlights right now, folks. It will get better. Yeah. Brian Pruitt.
Nice run.
Nice run. Yeah. On a 2nd down and 5, Eric tries to hit Terrence McMillan, but can't quite make the grab and stay in bounds. And then.
Well, this is one I know Eric would like to have back. It's just a bad decision. He should not have thrown the ball. He knows it, and it went right into the hands of Vaughn, their linebacker, and he took it in for a touchdown.
Okay, 14-0. Things are looking a little dark, but give this football team some credit here, folks. I mean, this team really battled back. Here's Eric putting it down. This is a long drive for CMU that starts in the first period and ends in the second.
I think we established our balance. Nice bootleg there. We didn't fool the cameraman. Get the ball into Chad Cucci, and I thought that was one thing in our offense. We had a real good mix all day between the run and the pass and the play action. And Brian running real hard, running through people and breaking some tackles for extra yardage here. As
you said when we were looking at the tape, that safety probably doesn't want to see too much of Brian Pruitt anymore.
I don't think so. I think there are probably a few people on that defense who don't want to see him too.
Same drive. We've switched out of the second period now on a 1st and 10. And here is Eric hitting Brian out of the backfield.
Real nice decision. His receivers downfield were covered and dropped the ball into Brian for an 8-yard gain, I believe.
Brian finding some space, takes it to the left side.
Right, and breaks another tackle. And, forced out of bounds.
And now here is Eric.
This is Eric Johnson. Great run by Eric. Just see the determination in it. And again, running through people, breaking tackles.
This one was
Well, Deion Powell, their outstanding defensive tackle, broke through and caused us a little havoc in the backfield there. But here, Eric comes off the first receiver and finds Tim Thomas in the end zone, makes a fine catch, and we have our first score.
14-7, and to move the ball, that was a nice long drive. And really, from the time that Western scored that second touchdown, you moved the ball and pretty much stopped them for the most part.
I thought we really did. I thought our offense executed well, and we didn't get a couple conversions that we needed, in the first half, but and the defense really held in tough.
That was a attempt to Andy Kortkowski there on the third down play to now a fake reverse, and you had all kinds of stuff going there.
We sure did. We had all kinds of receivers downfield. They were pretty well covered, and Eric pulled the ball down and had a nice gain. This is a John King up inside for a first down.
Now on a second down and 10, Timp is brought down here. Great pursuit by the Western.
Yeah, they have a stunt going on, and we didn't pick up the backside stunt, and they got the sack, and he gets the ball to Eric Johnson again, run hard up the sideline, and then we get a real fine gain out of that football play.
Third and 3 now. Can't quite pick up the first down, and that will be the end of our first half highlights with the score 14-7. Though you were trailing, Coach, you had to be kind of happy with the way things had been going for the last 15 minutes of football.
Well, I think we had turned things around since we got behind 14-0. Our kids really had hung in there, and I think they felt confident coming into the locker room. We felt good about the way we were moving the ball, and we were getting the important stops on defense. So we went in the locker room, I think, feeling pretty good about ourselves.
Okay, it's an electric second half, and we'll be back with the second half highlights when we resume on the CMU Football Review after this.
The Saginaw Chippewa tribe in Mount Pleasant is serving mid-Michigan with services such as its annual health fair, open to the general public.
We have lots of health education information provided by different agencies and departments within the tribe, and we also offer health screening.
Child safety seat demonstrations, back massages, and cholesterol level checks are some of the services available at the health fair.
We've come a long ways in coming up with programs suited for our reservation, research itself, on statistics to people coming through the clinics.
The event is successful because of tribal staff, volunteers, and local merchants. The Saginaw Chippewa Indian Tribe, working together for the future of mid-Michigan.
Here we go again. It's the Central Michigan University Football Review. Ed Phelps along with head coach Dick Flynn. Dick, did you have a plan of attack in the second half? Anything changes or any changes?
Well, no major changes,
okay.
No. You know, some normal little adjustments that you make, but not anything that was major. We felt good about what we were doing, and we wanted to go at them, you know, like we were in the first half. We just felt we could make things happen that way.
Okay, at the halftime, it was Western Michigan leading Central Michigan this past Saturday, 14-7. We go to the second half highlights now, and we will pick it up with the CMU on offense and the CMU offensive line blasting out some holes for Brian Pruitt, who, when he can't find a hole, finds the room.
Couple of nice cuts in there, getting the ball to the outside.
And again, Timp, fake, bootleg left.
Nice throw into Chad Cucci, and great gain for us here up the sideline.
On a second now and 6 at the Western 15-yard line. Remember, this is the first series of the second half.
Great, great cut, and then he runs over the safety. And again here, I think here the one that's really impressive is the line surge that we have up there and how well our offensive line is playing. And now he runs right through. You know, just a great how hard Brian's running. And Western was the leading rush defense in our conference coming in. Great cut up the middle, and he just kind of, you know, he turns it on and he's into the end zone.
You see that little stuff? That's what vision is all about, where you can just see that crack without even moving your head. And so now it's ahead 21-14 for CMU. Give to Pruitt. The big fellow's rolling.
Right up the middle. He really ran hard and well. A little option play with Eric. He turns it back up in here for some yardage. And
now it sets up a 2nd and 15 here at the Western 42-yard line, and this is special.
A little bootleg, and I think you get the opportunity to really see Eric's running ability and the speed that he had. So he makes a lot of great things happen with his feet.
It got the great speed. And now out of the shotgun.
The draw, and you know, great cut there, and now it's down the sideline. Great block by Terrence McMillan, first initially, and then to finish it off there to help put Eric in the end zone.
Pretty good job of using the back judge, too. What the heck, use what you can, that's right. 28-21 the score. Western forced to punt now a little bit later as we're early in the fourth period. And this is Jerry Miller. He drops it.
Yeah, we put that in so that guy would miss him there, and then he picks it up and he goes down the sideline, makes great run. We had some great blocking. The wall got formed, and a great effort by our special teams again.
But it gives you that great field position, see, and that's the key. And
it really does. Nice throw into Korikowski again.
And now on a 2nd and 8, the ball at the 14-yard line. Give it to Brian.
Again, but I think there you can see what the offensive line does. We have defensive linemen down in the secondary and a great push. That's a great effort. You know, we hit it up in there. I think this next run now just shows how hard Brian ran all day, and our people executed well on offense, just running through people to get into the end zone.
So that makes it 35-21 now. We're in the fourth period with 8:25 to go. Western, however, give them some credit. They will not quit on offense, and Gunna takes it down himself.
See his scrambling, how tough he is. He runs right through a couple of our linebackers there. You have to give him credit for there, and we get a little face mask penalty and moves the ball forward. And
Gunna hits a wide receiver out of the backfield, I think, after he dances around here. Johnson, yes.
Had good pressure. We just couldn't quite get to him, and that's something we knew coming into the game, the kind of ability that he had.
And here's Vaccaro, the tailback, taking the little screen and turned something into nothing. But
that's
great
right.
balance.
Great effort by him. And
but that sets it up. It's 1st and goal for Western. 4 plays in a row. They go absolutely nowhere.
Run a sweep, and we just get a great job of Brandon Bruce and Quincy Wright and some other folks here. They hit the fullback up in there, and again, linebacker, and everybody coming on. And the thing that's impressive there is he's going backwards, and that's what I really like about this. And again, try to run the option. Brandon Bruce, Quincy Wright, great hits. And again, you see all the maroon jerseys there, and the stadium's going wild now, and this is just really a great hit by Brandon Bruce on the option, and 4 great football players for our defense.
That was wonderful to watch. Now, you would have liked to have gotten a couple of first downs there to end all things, but you couldn't do it. Western would get the ball back, and they would score a touchdown. We'll show this, and then we're going to show the end of the game, too.
Well, again, you see his scrambling, but again, a tribute to them. I mean, they never quit, and it's that type of football game. The rivalry that's involved, and they're an outstanding football team. Coach Moldy's done a great job with them, and it's a tribute to them the way they kept fighting all the time during the game.
And McDonough, the quarterback, again, looking for someone to find some help, and puts it down himself, and he will get all the way into the end zone here. Just touches the ball, the old rugby play there, and gets it in. It's 35-28. Then they try this onside kick, and I don't know as I've ever seen this before, Coach.
Well, I have on the golf course. It's one of my shanks that I hit, but it sure looked great to me. I was happier than heck when the ball went that way.
And you saw the kicker with his hands on his helmet. There's the final score, and the reaction of the fans on the field after the game. Had to be fun to be there, Coach.
Oh, it was. It's a special day anytime you play Western. There's just an electricity that's involved, and to win at home like this in front of that crowd is just a great feeling.
Give you a boost for the rest of the season, doesn't it?
I sure hope so.
Okay, we'll be back now with more on the Central Michigan University Football Review after this.